Yo, 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 yo! Welcome back to the dumpster dump, my lovely little gems, my lovely, lovely little raconteurs. How you all doing today, my lovely, lovely, lovely little gems? Did you bring your pizza today? Because I hope you brought your pizza today, because we got a freaking wild adventure today as we continue with Jak and Daxter. But before we get back in, we start up with Jak and Daxter, we've got a couple of things we've got to do. That's right, we got videos to watch, things to talk about, and hopefully there's no freaking World Cup for freaking football, or as Americans call it, soccer, because who cares about freaking kicking balls, bro? Bro, seriously, the only balls you should be worrying about kicking is not the ones that you see in sports. No. Even though it probably should be a professional sport, but that's to kick the balls of the people who wronged you. Those are the only kind of balls that you should be kicking, bruh.
Question, is there any 1 hour TED Talks happening today?
Is there any 1 hour TED Talks happening today? No, I don't think so. I don't think there is. Should there be? Should there be a 1 hour TED Talk? I mean, I could talk about TED for an hour. Like, you know, I had a nice little teddy bear I used to suck on its paw because, you know, it made me very comfortable. You know, it was a good way to, you know, relieve stuff, and it actually had extra flavor from all the other times I would have pizza in my mouth and everything. So, you know, maybe, you know, I could talk about Ted the teddy bear. And oh dear God, what the frick happened there? How's my day at Taco Bell? I was not at Taco Bell, I'll have you know, good sir. Also, hey there, Cakes, my lovely little Jim.
Lol. I mean, since you did do a lot of lessons in Streamer University, I was like, is there going to be a part 3?
I don't think there's gonna be a part 3. Like, I would need to watch more than just, like, you know, Ludwig's stuff, because I know there was other people who did stuff, but honestly, no, because, you know, I kind of talked about everything I wanted to talk about, you know? I would need to watch more of that stuff so I could do more talks, plus I still need to go and edit that stuff down so it can be condensed down onto YouTube and everything, which I'm probably going to do tomorrow, but, you know. Also, how do you spell raconteur? Well, easy. You go R-A-C-C-O-O-N-T-E-U-R. Raconteur. You saw me at Taco Bell? If you saw me at Taco Bell, you didn't, because I'm not going to touch those Mexican pizzas. Those Mexican pizzas are barely pizzas, bro. Those Mexican pizzas aren't pizzas. It's just a tostada with some meat and some lettuce and some beans on top of another tostada with some cheese on it. Bro, why are you sucking on me? Surely you've got something else better to suck on than me. Like your own dick!
Raconteur sounds like a fancy French word.
It kind of does feel like that, doesn't it? It kind of does feel like you have no food. Well, if you have no food, then why don't you get some? Like, surely it can't be that hard to get some food, right? You literally just described every Mexican dish out there. Good. Good.
Then we should make our own Mexican pizza. Insert the rest of the Bender meme here.
You know what, yeah, we'll make our own Mexican pizza with blackjack and hookers. You know what, forget about the freaking hookers, bro. Forget about the hookers. They call it Mexican pizza. Anyways, though, so I do have something I would like to talk about a little bit, right? And so I feel like, you know, instead of just like, you know, dilly-dallying, let's get right into it. So if you were here yesterday, right? If you were here yesterday, you guys probably were watching me towards the end of the Streamer Use stuff. I showed off a little bit of the deck that I was working on in Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, guess what? I have perfected the deck, I think. I'm pretty sure it's as tweaked as it's gonna get. I think I made it even more evil, right? And I'd kind of like to go over it, right, about going to talk about, honestly, Demon Lord, it's perfect, right? I'll say, hey, Chef, how you doing? So, who's ready to see some absolute bullshit with Yu-Gi-Oh? Who's ready to see, like, probably one of the most there's no such thing as perfection. You want to bet, Amethyst? You want to bet?
Chat, get ready. She's about to hit us with 30 minutes of Yu-Gi-Oh knowledge that our brains are not going to be able to handle.
Oh, come on, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I'm not gonna sit here and, like, you know, break you that much, okay? Look. here's the thing, okay? What I've got going on here is gonna be perfect, right? I know it's gonna seem kind of crazy what I've got planned here, right? Also, yo, Super Broly, thank you so much for joining into the Dumpster Dome and becoming a Wrecking-Tealer. How you doing, bro? Anyways, though, I'll stop here for now. We're having soft tacos later. Alright, Super Broly, heck yeah, we'll have soft tacos. Do you have any good hot sauce to go with it? Because I got plenty of hot sauce if you like it. Anyway, so let me go ahead and show you guys what I've got built going on here. So, we changed up some lists here. This is based off of the actual TCG ban list, right? So, yesterday I kind of briefly showed it off. I didn't explain what was going on. You got one called the Red Devil. Ooh, that sounds great. What kind of peppers do they use? So, alright, here we go, right? Here we go. Because I think everyone who's been messing around with Clown Crew in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Sure, Clown Crew is a great engine for draw power, right? It is. It's really good for that. It's really good at getting things going, right? But here's the thing. The biggest problem with Clown Crew is everyone's throwing Mitsurugi, the ritual engine from Mitsurugi, into it. Some people throw Regenesis in, some just go pure Clown Crew, right? I, however, have come up with a very beautiful idea, okay? Which is to take Clown Crew and throw it in with fairies. Specifically, the Herald's fairies. Why? Because I figured if we're gonna do some bullshit, you might as well make a bullshit floodgate, right? That makes it so broken that you literally, like, the opponent would struggle. Like, you could actually possibly, right? You could actually take this to a regional, and it's a very good chance that you could probably actually win a regional with this, okay? So, first off, because we're gonna go through this, like, you got Clown Crew, we're gonna touch the Clown Crew engine first, right? So we got Biancaviso, okay? He's pretty simple. You tribute summon him, and based off of how many cards you tribute summon for him, you can either draw cards with him, or negate the effects of face-up cards your opponent controls equal to the number of monsters tributed. But then also, he allows you to do a tribute summon on the opponent's turn as a quick effect, which is kind of insane, right? So, Biancaviso, you're guaranteeing yourself at least drawing 2 cards, if not 3, right? And then you also have Clown Crew Flare, which is there because she can literally search, right, for a Clown Crew card and add it to your deck, meaning she can grab Biancaviso, she can grab Malabarisme, Manatee Operatics, or eat Rehearsal, Finale, New Face, or Soiree Operations, right? So she literally grabs any part of the Clown Crew deck that you could possibly need. Not only that, also, if she gets tributed, you can also shuffle all ritual monsters from the field and graveyards into the deck, or change an effect monster face down, right? EU server seems cooked, don't know. You might have to use a VPN though, internet. So, yeah, but also Twitch has been having issues lately. It's kind of silly. Anyways though, right? So, she's gonna be your main engine defining parts that you're missing, right? But then hang on, we have several ways to get ourselves unfucked if we get fucked, right? You have Cyber Angel. Glad you like my outfit, Demon. You have Cyber Angel Benton, right? So if he gets tributed, he adds a light fairy monster from your deck to your hand. Which, by the way, all of the heralds are light monsters that are fairies, right? Careful, Albert, no worries, Lane. So that's what's crazy. So I'm guessing these are the kind of the main cards you have from my best knowledge. Perform Mage, Trick Clown, revives itself from the graveyard by taking 1,000 damage. Perform Mage, damage juggle. No. No. That's not at all how it is. That's not at all how it is at all, right? Anyways, right? So going forward, right? So basically, you've got your Clown Crew stuff. You got Cyber Angel Benton that can look out your ritual pieces easily, right? Just by being tributed, which in a deck that is very tribute heavy, is basically a guarantee, right? Then you've got Malabarisme, which special summons 2 Clown Crew cards from your deck or extra deck, ignoring the summoning conditions. And special summon monsters cannot be activated. Their effects cannot be activated, so it's not the end of the world, right? If it's in the graveyard, you can basically banish it, tribute a monster from your hand or field, and then target a card on the field and return it to hand, right? So, you're effectively sitting there getting the whole engine started by having free tribute summoning, right? Manatee Apparatus, it draws you stuff at the end of turn, but then it also allows you to special summon once per turn as well. Rehearsal, literally, you play that card, you're going to tribute any card that's either in your hand or field, and then you're going to get a Bianca Visso and another spell or trap card for Clown Crew, right? Which is kind of crazy. Okay, so you're guaranteeing a lot of parts right out the gate. You also have pre-preparation of rites, which adds a ritual spell from your deck to your hand. That is literally in there, so you can grab your ritual spell for your Herald, right? So as a result, you are guaranteeing that. But then you also have a new card that came out in, called Ragged Record of Rites that came out in Chaos Origins, which is the latest set. You reveal a ritual spell from your hand or deck, and if you do, you add a monster from your deck to your hand that mentions the spell's name. So you literally can grab the ritual you need, so you will always have it, right? So, you're effectively setting yourself up. Also, you can have a massive stupid field, right? Then you've got stuff like Archlord Christia. It's a fairy. If you have 4 fairies in your graveyard, you can special summon it. If it's special summoned, target a fairy monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Neither players can special summon monsters, so it's a floodgate. So you have a floodgate here, on top of being able to draw a massive metric fuck ton of cards, right? You also have the Concours de Cuisine, which just acts as an easy way to also search for ritual monsters and also fuck with your opponent by not letting them do Mulch Army, assuming they forget to play their Mulch Armies, right? Then you have the cream of the crop, the entire reason why this deck is so stupid, right? Herald of Ultimateness. I saw this card from a short. It is absolutely stupid. It has to be ritual summoned, cannot be special summoned by any other effect. When your opponent would special summon monsters or activate a spell or trap card or monster effect, send 1 fairy monster from your hand to the graveyard, negate the special summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card.
Herald of Ultimateness's effect, no.
Yeah, that's literally what Herald of Ultimate's effect is just no. I cannot joke about that. That is literally what Herald of Ultimate's ability is, right? So the entire idea is to swarm your field, draw your deck, play down Herald of Ultimateness, just so you can keep discarding and interrupting opponents' plays. And on top of that, I have a couple of replays just that I want to show you of how stupid it is. There's a reason people still use kaiju. What if I negate your kaiju, huh, Bard? What if I negate your kaiju, bish? I'll negate it! So, I've got a couple of replays I want to show you of, like, some of the best moments, right? That is so stupid. So we're gonna go with Clown Heralds 2, okay? Can't negate it if it's tribute the Herald. That is true. Guess you gotta be planning around that, right? Anyway, so this hand looks like complete garbage, right? So hang on, before it continues, this hand looks like complete garbage. You got 2 Oracle the Heralds, a Clown Clue Frayer, a Bianca Visso, and a Rehearsal. So how are we gonna get the fuck out of this, right? Looks absolutely god-awful. Oh, and then there's a pre-preparation of rights. GG, bro. Suffer. There the army. Thank you so much for joining the dumpster dome. I hope you enjoyed being a little gem I wrecking tour. How you doing? And we're not even at the point of doing the Oracle of the Herald yet, by the way. Hi, Voodoo. I'm doing good. How are you doing? Birdie, thank you so much for joining on Into the Dumpster Dump. How you doing? Oh, hang on. Wait for it, because we're about to be bullshit. Let's just draw an extra card. Look at how massive that hand is. Good. Suffer, bitch. Do I watch any YouTubers? I watch a couple of them. So that was one match, right? Like, now here's another one for you, okay? Here's another one for you. Just to show you. Oh my god, with the licking. Why? No! Watch as I draw my entire deck into my hand because of Orcus. Go eat something, Tiger. They don't even know what's about to hit them, do they? They legit don't know. Like, the freaking Orcus system doesn't know what's gonna hit them, right? Because what's gonna happen, right? Like, look at this. This is why Voltjumper needs to be banned or something. This is why Voltjumper needs to be banned. Like, they're doing a lot of combos, right? They're doing a lot of combos, which you'd think would be absolutely screw me over. Especially since that one card that's on the field I can't do anything about. But trust me, it doesn't matter. They did negate the freaking, you know, Ash Blossom, which does suck, right? They negated the Ash Blossom, but who cares? Let me just draw 3 cards. Cool. Already got our Herald in our hand. Got our pre-preparation right, so we got both Heralds in our hand, by the way. Yes! Good. It was scary though when the opponent I was up against said they're gonna touch me. Wait, what? Why would they do that? Bro, why would they do that? I was like, hey Calvin, how you doing? You know, fair. Dual train views I have, yes. Like, look at this freaking bullshit. Like, this, I know this isn't as crazy as Yu-Gi-Oh! Can get, right? But it's just, it's one of those things that if you think that something good is gonna happen, we drew 2 cards. We have Herald here, right? Also stole some pizza from me. Why'd you steal pizza from me, bro? Like, oh no, they're comboing. Whatever will I do? I think I'm gonna have to stop them soon, right? Except I really don't even need to worry about it because there was no reason to really do any kind of heraldy bullshit. You hit them with a Herald. My deck has no bad cards, Kaiba! For decks to try out, we should put decklist some on the bench somewhere. Yeah, you could put decklist like on the bench or somewhere, you know, yeah. Like, legit. Because you would think that at this point, this would be a problem. And also, you cast Cuddle. You know what? I cast Forever Single, bro. Like, you would think this would be bad because they got rid of most of our stuff, but look at that. We just... Like, legit, as much as I hate to say it, right? As much as I hate to say it, I need to pause it here real quick. Pot of Sloth letting you draw for the amount of cards that the opponent controls is stupid, and I get why it's like a $50 card, right? That's why it's a side deck. It's not necessary in Clown Crew because it's absolutely bullshit. So it's like, we're just gonna sit here, we're gonna get our freaking combo pieces back out on the field again anyways, right? And this is why you go and layer your chains, that way they can't do anything to it.
Emma, take all your pizza and put it in my coffin, goodbye.
Bro, you do that, I'm gonna come over there, dig out the grave, and freaking, you know, make sure you get all the pizza crust. Like, seriously, we are literally set, right? We are set for life. It does not matter if they negated New Face's initial ability, right?
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old?
Exactly. Like, it did, like, the thing is it doesn't matter how many times they negate my stuff. The freaking Herald of Ultimateness is just such bullcrap, right?
Pizza is getting stolen too.
But why, bro? But why? Also, is it called Exodia? Exodia is a deck that is definitely an FTK if you get it done right. They tried to ghost, freaking, you know, ghost spell me. I said no, bro. This is so stupid. This legit was a brainchild that I have been cooking up because I love the idea of Clown Crew. And when I heard about Herald of Ultimateness, right, this stupid blue card, this ritual card, I had to theory craft how to make it work with Clown Crew, okay? And you want to know, chat, guess how stupid this deck actually is. Guess how actually brain dead this deck is. An orbital strike, kind of, yeah. But, like, seriously? Right? Also, yo, DRBC, thank you so much for joining in the Dumpster Dome. Thank you for being a little gem, bruh. On a scale of 1 to 10, probably an 11. Yeah, it's this deck, okay? This deck is surprisingly cracked, right? Like, I actually handed this deck to someone who has never touched Clown Crew, did not understand Clown Crew's abilities or how Clown Crew worked at all. They misplayed so much, right? They misplayed the deck so much, and they still won with it. All because of Herald of Ultimateness and how much draw power the deck has? It really literally didn't matter if they misplayed like 5 or 6 different times in a single round. The deck literally just won because they could just keep discarding their fairy types to keep negating the opponent. Because if the opponent can't special summon, if the opponent can't activate spells, I mean, they can activate them, but if I just keep negating the summons and the spells, all of a sudden, I basically shut their deck down and they just have a field free for the taking. Also, Lambda and not DBNR, thank you so much for joining in the Dumpster Dome. I hope you like being a lovely little raconteur. How you doing, bruh? Also, hey there, Gil, how you doing? Like, seriously, do you realize how absolutely ridiculous it? Like, yes, here's the thing, right? Someone mentioned the kaijus, right? And you're right, the kaijus are absolutely... So like, let me pull up the kaijus, right? I'm glad you like my voice, Kyron. So allow me to pull up the kaijus. Like, you have Gameciel, right? So Gameciel here literally says you special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field in attack position by attributing one monster they control. If your opponent controls a kaiju monster, you can special summon this card in attack position. You can only control one kaiju monster. When your opponent activates a card or effect except this card, you can remove 2 kaiju counters from anywhere on the field and negate the activation, right? So here's the thing. Yes, this card right here is abso-freaking-lutely. Also, Portal Master, thank you so much for joining into the Dumpster Dome, bro. I appreciate it. So here's the thing. Yes, Gameciel is absolutely a card that is great at getting around it. However, right, most decks are not actually running Gameciel, right? Most people aren't running Gameciel. Most people aren't running freaking Radiant, the multi-dimensional. Most people aren't running Kumungus, the sticky kaiju. Like, most of the kaijus are not being run. Also, like, Prezion, thank you so much for joining on into the Dumpster Dome, bro. And well as you, King. Like, seriously, the problem is that most people don't actually run the kaijus. At most, you have people running, you know, you got people running Ash Blossom, right? That is something people are running. Or they'll be running something like Super Poly, right? They're running some people are running Super Poly because it's literally a spell. It's as much of a joke as it is, right? It's a joke of being spell speed 4 because the opponent can't interact with it, right? And you can choose monsters from either side of the field so you can get rid of those, the problematic monsters, right? So that's why Super Poly is ran. Or they'll run an oldie but a goodie, right? If I can type it. They'll run Lava Golem, because Lava Golem tributes 2 monsters the opponent controls. So, as a whole, by the way, Dreads, I am doing good, and by the way, Death Banana, thank you so much for joining on in the Dumpster Dome, bro. So yeah, like, you know, people will run Lava Golem because it gets rid of 2 problems, right? I'll say, hey there, TTV, how you doing, bro? Like, people will run Lava Golem as a side deck option, right? Did you hear the news? Outbreak and Taco Bell and banning tacos and Taco Bells? Yes, I have heard that, Fillion. Like, so here's the thing, right? There's a lot of ways to counter this deck, but considering how the meta currently is in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Why are you eating my wires, bro? Considering how the meta in Yu-Gi-Oh currently is, like, if I were to sit here and go over here, right? Pull up the current meta in Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what you're gonna see? Here's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see a lot of branded. You're gonna see Invoke, Cool Tune. You're gonna see a crap ton of stuff. Yes, I do have hand tracking. Nyeh. Because you're wise, but I don't want you to eat them, bro. But yeah, like, let's take, let me see if I can find it. There it is. Okay. So, let me just pull up a Draco Tail deck here, right? Because here in this Draco Tail deck, okay, this whole thing here, it's like, it brings out a crap ton of things. But, honestly, if you look at their extra deck, you got, what? Perilla, Drolinlock, Diabellaz, Santa Claus, Nadir's Servant, Triple Tactics Thrust, Illusion Gate, Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster. Here's the thing. No one is main decking except for like a couple of decks, right? Most people don't main deck Drolinlock, right? I love the arm tracking, makes you intrigued for some reason. I mean, because you don't really see a lot of 3D people with, you know, hand and arm tracking, right? So, it's one of those things that it's kind of crazy, because realistically, no one's actually running things that you can get around, and by the time they see the Herald of Greatness, right, you could just negate the Drolinlock. Because Droll Unlock's entire effect is if a card is added to the opponent's hand, except during the draw phase, quick effect, send this card from your hand to the graveyard, and for the rest of this turn, cards cannot be added from either player's main deck to hand. Well, what if I Ash Blossom it? What if I negate it, bro? Like, you can see how that's an issue. I'll say, hey, Ada, how you doing? You can see how that might be a slight issue. And because of the way Branded works, and even Draco Tail, if I just negate any kind of summon that's there, it's just... I'm literally telling you to frick off, right? What card game? This is Yu-Gi-Oh! TTV. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! And also, yo, Draco, thank you so much for joining on into the dumpster dome, bro. Like, seriously, that's the thing. If I pull up, like, let's pull up Cool Tune, right? Because Cool Tune's another thing that people are expecting to get hit. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. If I open up, you're more of a Pokemon nerd? Fair. Like, if I pull up some, like, you know, Cool Tune, yeah, Cool Tune literally throws stuff at you on the opponent, on like, your turn, right? What if I negate it? What if I negate it, you know? Because, you know, with that Herald, I can just negate, like, a lot of Cool Tune stuff. Oh, you want to use Phydralis Harmonious effect? No, bro. Frick you. You don't get Phydralis. Your Phydralis gets negated and goes, goodbye. Good day, good sir. Should you try this out? Honestly, if you want to try Yu-Gi-Oh! Out, I'd say go for it. If you don't want to spend money on, like, the Konami's official version, there's, Indie Pro 3, which is a free version of it that, is, like, community ran, that allows you to basically playtest whatever decks you want to playtest, right? And I thought, oh, cool, but then I get here and it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Absolutely. I mean, Ginger, we'll get to Jack 2. I usually have my stream split up into 2 segments. The first part is going to be a just chatting segment that lasts about an hour to an hour and a half. And then we get into the game after that, right? But yeah, like, honestly, that's the thing. Like, you know, what's funny is also, I'm glad you like my avatar, Spartan. Like, the thing is that what makes it crazy, right? 30-minute chatting, 30-minute video reaction, 2 hours of gaming extravaganza, something like that.
Just chatting, 30 minutes, video reactions, 2 hours, gaming extravaganza.
Something like that, yeah. The whole thing is, right, with this Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, right? Clown Crew, okay, is something that got me back into Yu-Gi-Oh!, right? Because the last time I had played Yu-Gi-Oh! Before Clown Crew was back when Pendulum Summoning was a thing with Flower Cardians and everything, and I hated dealing with freaking Flower Cardians and all the bullshit that was during the Pendulum era, right? But honestly, Yu-Gi-Oh's been a little bit more balanced of being able to get into it. I built a K9 Vanquish Soul deck. I've built an Art Mage Power Patron deck and an Elf Note Power Patron deck. I've got a freaking Branded Draco Tail deck. The only thing I don't have is the white Alabast card because it's like $100 a card and I don't feel like, you know, dealing with that shiz, you know? So there's like all sorts of stuff like I have just to see it. And also, what was your new question, Fillion? Han, because I did not see it. Could you please retype it out? Cause yeah, yeah. Anyways, right? So like it's crazy because for me, right? I hate Pendulums, honestly, feels way too much. It's nice being able to summon a lot though. It is. Did I hear the news? Hang on. Yes, I did hear the news about the outbreak in Taco Bell and banning tacos. They're not banning tacos, they're banning stuff like lettuce because of the whole issue, right? Like, I do have a deck that does work with Pendulums, but it's, again, after what they did with link summoning, Pendulums are not as easy to use, right? That's why I kind of like Power Patrons, because it's like, yeah, the Pendulums are there, but they act more like, you know, spell cards than they actually are Pendulum summoning. I have a Valence Sulfur deck that I can use, but it's kind of hard to play. You're more of a Synchro Monster fan, especially Zombie Necro Dragons. Okay, so Draco, since you're a synchro fan, have you seen the Angelici stuff that came out recently? Have you actually seen the Angelici stuff? Because Angelici is like the newest synchro thing that if you just throw into any synchro deck, It's absolutely bullshit. It is absolutely bullshit, especially if you go second, because it's really good for second. You've been mostly on Master Duel. All right, so let me go ahead and I'm gonna pull up the Angelic stuff real quick for you, right? Actually, you know what? It might be better for me just to come over to TCG Player and pull it up so that, you know, you can actually see the cards, right? I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but Angelic, if I can actually type, holy shiz. Angelic is the newest thing because of Chaos Origins, right? I'll say, hey there, Coco, how you doing? So, I'm gonna pull up the 3 cards, or the 4 cards that people run, okay? So, the first thing you're gonna have that's your combo starter is Angelic opening to E4, right? So, Angelic opening to E4, let me just read off what it does, alright? If your opponent goes first, you can activate this card from your hand during your standby phase of their first turn. Place 1 Angelic creature, field spell, or from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up on your field. And if you do, special summon 1 level 2 or 7 Angelic monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone. And if you do that, place 1 Angelic monster from your extra deck in your spell and trap zone as a face-up continuous spell. Until the end of your next turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon for the extra deck except synchro monsters. So, effectively, this acts like, you know, a freaking stupid spell, because you're gonna bring stuff out, right? So, effectively, what you will do, okay, is you're gonna bring out Angelic. Yeah, it is, Draco. It really is good. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring out Angelic Enlisted, okay? Which is a level 2 synchro that you're bringing out for free. It says you can target one opponent's monster in the card's adjacent column, banish it, then change control of this card by moving it to one of your opponent's main monster zones in this card's adjacent column. If control of this face-up card changes, return this card to the extra deck, and then this owners of this card special summons 1 Angelic monster from their extra deck. Here's the thing, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is it's there for your turn, right? What you will bring out is you're going to bring out either Angelic Chaturanga or Angelic Dreister, right? Angelic Chaturanga is basically a pseudo floodgate for the opponent. Because what it's going to do, you don't care, don't worry about the first effect. You're worrying about what happens when it's treated as a continuous spell, right? Which it states, while this card is treated as a continuous spell, your opponent can only attempt to activate up to 5 monster effects per turn. After that, no more. Meaning they can't keep extending. You literally lock them out, right? Then you also have Dreister, right? Dreister literally sits there, right? And says, for its continuous spell, right? While it's treated as a continuous spell, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, inflict 500 damage to your opponent when it resolves. So, on your opponent's first turn, you are literally burn damaging them, potentially, and forcing them to take damage every time they do a combo. Meaning, if you're going up against something in the meta at the moment, right? Not only Floodgate, but also a burn setup, yes. But then hang on, we also have the spell card that you also set from opening to E4, which is the Angelic problem. Once per turn, discard 1 spell or trap card. Special summon a level 2 Angelic monster from your extra deck, and if you do, place an Angelic monster from your extra deck to your spell and trap zone as a face-up continuous spell. If a face-up Angelic monster card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, return an Angelic monster card you own from your spell or trap zone to the extra deck, then you can special summon it. So, even if they try to destroy your stuff, you will bring it back, right? Onto the field. And so, if I were to, like, you know, like with Angelic, it basically is any deck that is synchro focused becomes stupid. It becomes so stupid because you activate on the opponent's turn. There's a combo with Wipe Force Angelic that you can do to get 28,000 burn damage per monster effect. Yeah, I know about that. Like, I want to build White Forest at some point, but I don't have the muns at the moment to build White Forest. So what I want to do is I'm gonna put it together with Elf Note, because I do have Elf Note. And I think because Elf Note is very synchro heavy, it's going to be freaking stupid. Elf Note legitimately is gonna be, I think any synchro deck that can actually put, that has the space for angelic keys is going to be an absolute banger deck, right? Absolutely banger. It's very easy to stop though. One Ash Blossom negate on the card, that bridge kills it. That is true. If they do have the Ash Blossom, it does kill it, which does suck. But it's more the fact that you get rid of an Ash Blossom and it's afraid, right? Favorite archetype is still Altergeese, Floodgates Galore. Honestly, yes, Floodgates Galore is honestly amazing. It just sucks because right now, Angelic Key opening to E4 is a $10 card because everyone and their mother's throwing it into the X, right? Also, yo, the last heat, thank you so much for joining the Dumpster Dome. I appreciate it. I pulled 2 different rarities of Black Chaos from the set. Motherfucker. Share. Gib. I mean, I pulled 2 of a freaking, No, in all honesty, I did manage to get 2 copies of Fair the Primordial Goddess because it actually seems really like it could be really good in fairy tale decks, right? So, you know, that could be a little bit of fun. That could be a little bit of fun. But yeah, no, legit, this whole Clown Crew Heralds deck that I've got going on over here genuinely feels like something you could actually take to a regionals and win with, and you're gonna catch people off guard simply because if someone could pick up a deck that they've never touched, don't understand the rules of Clown Crew, misplay to hell and back, and still win, I think the deck might be a little bit cracked, bro. I think the deck might be kind of cracked. Beyond the Brave is gonna need to give Angelic Key some really good support. It really kind of does, right? From the store runs prove it, total 250. Oh shit, holy shiz. Your deck was made of trap cards to deal direct damage. Oh, it sounds like you're a freaking Labyrinth player then, bruh. Sounds like you're a Labyrinth player. Also, you know what's kind of funny? You know what's kind of funny? Right now, the TikTok audience is actually outshining the Twitch audience in terms of chat messages. Oh, you sold it, you doing, bro? I prefer to play with undead monsters at Karibo. You know what? Valid. You hate dealing with Labyrinth. So, if you hate dealing with Labyrinth, how do you feel about dealing with Vanquish Soul K9, specifically when they start throwing in the Nash Knight combo in? How do you feel with Vanquish Soul K9s? Like, legit, I'm gonna be so sad if Vanquish Soul gets hit. I am legitimately going to be depressed if Vanquish Soul gets hit, because I love Vanquish Soul swarming the field, dealing like half of the opponent's life damage to them because of the way the Vanquish Knight combo does. But yeah, no, honestly, Jesus Christ, the music is freaking having a meltdown over here. There we go. Yeah, I kind of want to make a deck with Berserk Soul just for the memes. Honestly, valid. Absolutely valid. Also, you know, so yeah, that's legit probably one of my favorite things that I've been working with. I heavily doubt Vanquish Soul is going to get hit. It isn't really doing much in the meta right now. It's not. You're right. Vanquish Soul isn't. But at the same time, I do think it's kind of interesting how the OCG has hit Vanquish Soul I find it really interesting how Vanquish Soul has been hit really hard in the OCG, with like Ryzen being limited to 1. I know a lot of people are expecting freaking Cool Tunes to get hit hard in the next ban list, right? You stopped playing when Omni Negates were rampant. Have yet to go through all the new cards. Valid. Absolutely valid. Like, there's still a lot of Omni Negates. Admittedly, one of the cards that I would like to have at least 2 of at some point, but I hate how expensive it is Pot of Sloth. Simply because it literally is draw cards equal to the number of cards your opponent controls, and if you drew 2 or more, place cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck in any order equal to the number you drew minus 1. It literally is, hey, your opponent just did a bunch of stuff and they have a full field. Cool, draw 5 and then unbrick your hand, basically. Give yourself the best hand possible. I understand why it's a $58 card. I honestly would love, if I could, I would love to have 2 of these, just so I could shove it into any deck just to see how it works, you know? You know? Also, real quick, right? I'd have to say your favorite card is Change of Heart. Honestly, Change of Heart is a really, really good card. I love Change of Heart. So, real quick, I want to sit here and take a moment to pause real quick, okay? Because for my Twitch peeps, right? I know this week has been kind of weird with Twitch, right? How many of you guys on Twitch have been having issues over the past couple of days where Twitch has been kind of buggy, it's been broken, chat messages not loading, channel point redeems not working, video players erroring out? Like, have any of you had any of those issues lately? Because I know that, like, you know, some people had that issues yesterday and on Saturday, and I think some people are having those issues today? It's kind of weird, you know? Very much so, saying, yeah, I think it's because they added in a new system where, like, they literally added in the whole thing where you can say, hey, Twitch, clip that, and then it'll clip and it breaks things, right? But you need to watch over on YouTube. Oh, God, that's awful. I think the Cool Tune stuff will just be limited instead of banned. Yeah. Yeah. I really do think that Cool Tunes will most likely be limited because it's way too consistent, honestly, with Yu-Gi-Oh! Though. But yeah, like, real quick, yes, I just wanted to make sure before I continued forward with any kind of discussions or anything that I made sure to, you know, just ask, you know, if people were having issues, because I know Twitch has been really, really weird this past week, and, like, completely understandable. If you're on the Twitch side and you're watching on YouTube, TikTok, Kick, you know, yeah, you're having a lot of tech issues on you, and also that, I mean, that's fair, right? Every ban list, they need to stop messing with the heroes. I just remember every list, high D hero, mousy, yeah. I mean, hey, Beyond the Brave, the next set that's coming out, Beyond the Brave, does have some new hero support, which is kind of cool. Out of all the monsters, your fave monster has to be Karibo or the Penguin. So, Candy Prince, have you seen the retrained, like, Karibo? Or I guess you can't really call it Karibo, but have you seen this card right here, Griffith? Because I'm gonna be real with you, I think this card is a little bit stupid. It's not like, you know, like, legit, yeah. So here we go, quick effect. Discard this card, activate one of these effects. Either A, the next battle or effect damage you take this turn will become 0, or set one quick play spell or trap that mentions light and darkness ritual from your deck, and it can be activated this turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. If ritual summoning exactly one level 8 ritual monster with a card effect that requires the use of monsters, this card can be used as the entire tribute. So, you are legitimately building a deck, because right now, like, they have the whole light and darkness ritual deck that came out in Chaos Origin is absolutely bullshit, right? It is absolutely bullshit. They retrained, you know, Dark Magician to Chaos, they retrained Skull Fiend and all that, right? Hero's gotten so much support, I'm low-key sick of it. You know, that's valid. That's valid. One of your favorite cards.
One of my favorite cards is Elemental Hero Terra Firma, and I want to get Elemental Hero the core.
Honestly, before Beyond the Brave comes out, you might wanna, if you can, get that core, because it might be a decent deck, you know? It might be a decent deck. But yeah, like, legit, right now in Chaos Origins, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like what they did. Like, here. This fucker right here, bro. This fucker right here. Black Chaos. I heard you want to freaking hate your life, right? So, Can't be normal summon or set, must be special summon from your hand by shuffling a spellcaster or warrior ritual monster from your hand or graveyard into the deck, right? You can only special summon Black Chaos once per turn this way. Discard cards. You can discard this card, place a continuous trap that mentions light or darkness from your deck or graveyard face up on your field. While you have a ritual spell in your graveyard, this card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. Once per turn during your main phase, you can banish 2 cards your opponent controls. I hate this card. I hate this card so much. Because with Black Chaos, effectively, right? Me cute? No, you cute, bro. With Black Chaos, the reason why I hate this so much, you are guaranteed, okay, to have a ritual spell in your graveyard by the time this card comes out on the field. So, not only can you not negate its effects, it is going to banish 2 cards that the opponent controls. Meaning, you are screwed, bro. You are screwed. There is nothing that you can do about Black Chaos. That's how bad it is. And unless you attack directly into it, which good fucking luck, that card, it's broken. It literally feels broken if you can't get around it, right? And how do I feel about Elemental Mudball Man? You know what? Let me look it up real quick. Elemental Mudball Man. Oh my god, I freaking hate that he's just called that. Okay. So Elemental Hero Bow, and this monster cannot be special summoned except by few. Bro, really? Yeah, it's a tank and nothing else. It's a tank and nothing else. I can't get over the fact that it's just a tank. Bro, you know what I'd rather run than Elemental Hero? I'd rather run, like, the freaking Ship of Theseus, right? Like, seriously, the freaking, the summon, let me see, yeah, Sea Monster of Theseus. I would rather run Sea Monster of Theseus with Super Poly, right? Are we serious now? Okay, yeah, here we go. Because literally, it requires 2 tuners, but throw down a Super Poly, discard a card, take 2 of your opponent's monsters, special summon this. Congrats. Hey, Kaku, how you doing, brah? So I love Shin Ryu, or however it's spelled. You get the benefits, you keep them back. That is true. You in a game where monster with infinite attack and defense is mid. I mean, it kind of is, though. It kind of is. And I mean, also, okay, hang on. Also, if you are a synchro lover for Yu-Gi-Oh!, one of the other things that honestly is probably not the worst thing to pick up if you haven't yet is, like, where is it? Is freaking Witness of the Ancient. There's a basic rarity of it, right? Hopefully White Force and Xenomina gets the Outbash treatment due to Chronicles. I honestly hope so too. I really hope so too. So yeah, Witness of the Ancients. If you have a synchro monster in your field or graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can place 3 synchro monsters different name from your extra deck and graveyard in your spell or trap zones as face-up continuous spells. And if you do that, special summon an Arc token with a level equal to the number placed. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon the extra deck except synchro monsters. You can only use this each effect once per turn. So, you literally use this card in a synchro deck, specifically with Angelic Key, your backfield set. You have all of the continuous spells you need, right? God damn it, bro! Are you proud of yourself for that one, bro? Are you proud of yourself for that one? God damn it. God damn it. So yeah, it's... Yeah, it's literally, it's one of those things where Yu-Gi-Oh! Is definitely... Look up the Mind Control card. Mind Control, that's a freaking, classic. That's an absolute classic, bro. Mind control. Target a monster your opponent controls until the end phase. Take control of that target, but it cannot declare attacks or be tributed. Honestly, you know what's interesting? Fairy Tail does a lot of mind control shenanigans without being mind controlled, right? Because it uses Magistus stuff, which equips itself to a monster on the opponent's field, which just literally says, cool, I'm gonna, you know, take control of the card that I equipped this spell to, right? It is so cool. It is genuinely cool. I actually really do like Fairy Tail as a deck. Even if it is a spellcaster pile deck, right? It's fun. It is honestly fun, right? But regardless, right? Hey, look up the card Battle Rally. It raises a card's attack and defense. Yep, I do know about Battle Rally. Yep. Hang on. Battle Rally. Or Rally to Battle, I think would be... Is that the right one? I think it's the right one. Also, I like how it put itself in Magic the Gathering for that card. Why? Okay, actually, no. Actually, am I even writing it right? Hang on. Huh. I can't seem to find it. My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card to play is the Kangaroo toy. Oh god, I love the Kangaroo toy. You're more of a Magic the Gathering guy, but Yu-Gi can be fun too when you know how to play. Exactly. Like here's the thing. I actually do agree with you, right? I agree with you that, you know, Magic the Gathering can be really, really good, right? But I also do prefer Yu-Gi-Oh with all the interactions and how fast it can go. That and Magic, depending on like the format and everything, can be kind of hard to get into, right? Yu-Gi-Oh! The fundamental rules are easy to understand, but the card-by-card basis is what makes it hard. Honestly, Draco, I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah, the rules with Yu-Gi-Oh! Are a pain, right? The rules with Yu-Gi-Oh! I've learned that if you know Japanese, the literal translation of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so much more clear with how it works than how it's translated into English, right? And also, you love card... Bro, I started out on Card Fight Vanguard. Bushiroad killed Vanguard, okay? Bushiroad killed Vanguard. Because all they did, they literally had 3 reboots with a crap ton of power creep, on top of having promo card after promo card that made entire decks either work or not. And because they didn't give promo cards over in America, or any English-speaking, you know, continent, as a result, it just couldn't work, right? And remember spell speed? Okay. Here's the thing. Spell speeds, I think, are really easy to remember, right? If it doesn't have an icon next to the spell or trap card, right? That's spell speed 1. If it has the lightning bolt icon, that's spell speed 2. Quick effects are also spell speed 2. Spell speed 3 is the one that has like the little Uno reverse arrow, right? Which you normally only see on trap cards with, like, you know, Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, stuff like that, right? You know, it can be annoying for a new player missing the timing. Yeah, missing timing can be so hard. Hell, you know, I've actually been, right, experimenting with a trap card lately, since, you know, a lot of the Solemn cards do get limited. And I know a lot of people... I think a lot of people feel like this card in particular is considered bad, or just like a poor man's, like, Solemn, right? I like it. I like Iron Thunder, right? If you don't know what Iron Thunder does, it's literally when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated on the field, pay half your life points, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Then destroy any other cards in the same column as destroyed card was in that are in monster zones or spell or trap zones, right? So here's my thing, right? Yes, it's a worse version of the Solemn cards, but at the same time, it is an unlimited trap card, right? It is an unlimited trap card that anyone could put into their deck and effectively Solemn things if they needed to, right? It's not so much worse as a Siger. Yeah, it's basically, it's lateral. It's another option, you know? Make sure to play some of the story mode because some of them give you dex use, yeah. Or, you know, or Draco, if you really feel like it and you really want to test things, you could always use MD Pro 3 to test things without needing to, like, you know, worry about grinding resources out and everything, because that's what I do. Because I don't feel like sitting there grinding out, like, the UR resources or the SR resources or anything like that, you know? Do you remember the original Dark Magician Girl? I do remember the Dark Magician Girl. Also, alright, hang on. Real quick, most people don't use mini traps. They don't because, you know, with the speed of the game, it's kind of hard to, admittedly. It is kind of hard. Now, real quick, I do need to use the bathroom, so I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. Candy Prince, I'm going to leave you in charge of the TikTok side, and Bard, I'm going to leave you in charge, so make sure no one causes too much chaos, alright? Because I will be right back, assuming I can get my layouts set up properly. There we go. And then let me just get the, this set up. I know, but, you know, bathroom duty calls, okay? And bathroom duty calls. Set 3 to infinite impertinence. Oh god, don't even dare. Don't you freaking dare set infinite impertinences. I would hate you if you did that, bro. Anyways, be right back. And good luck. Alright, I'm back. I am back. We are good. Hang on. Alright. So, did I miss anything? Because I'm noticing... Actually, I'm kind of surprised, actually. I was expecting more fire on the chat. What the frick happened? Did I... miss something? Wow. Anyways, right? Anyways, where were we? By the way, thank you so much for waiting, right? So, yes, right? Anyways, right? I also had an Ash Blossom in hand and a Stardust Assault mode on the field. Oh god, that sounds awful. Like, you know... You know what I think is the best thing you can do? Right? We're gonna use the cooking pot to cook you and eat. Wait, why would you do that, bro? Why would you do that? So, okay. Okay, here's the thing, right? I honestly think as far as Yu-Gi-Oh goes, what are the best ways you can mess with your opponent, in my opinion, right? is to literally be the person, okay? I was about to say not so proud of the neat, not needing anything, but then saying it, yo. Specifically a Mirror Blade, Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon deck, yes.
I was about to say I was so proud of the neat for not igniting anything today, but then sainted.
Yeah, no, legit, Mirror Jade, fuck Mirror Jade. Fuck Mirror Jade, okay, bro? But yeah, like, honestly, here's the thing, right? To me, I think the best way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or to get into it, right, is to play decks that the opponents don't really know. Like, for example, I have a freaking, you know, Burn Flower Cardian deck, right? Do you realize how stupid it is? Like, Flower Cardians is one of those decks, well, take care, Candy Prince, and I hope to see you around, alright, brah? So, like legit, Flower Cardians is one of those decks that not many people understand. Kind of like how freaking Valence, a lot of people don't understand. So if you play something like Flower Cardians, people aren't gonna know if you're actually playing the game or not, because they don't understand it. Would Exo Sisters be a good option? Exo Sisters, I'd say, is a really good cheap way to get into the game, because I think it's like 50 bucks, you know? Hell, right? Flower Cardian is a pain in the ass to play. Bro, you think it's that hard to play Flower Cardian? I love playing Flower Cardian. Like, literally, Flower Cardian is my stim deck, okay? It is my stimmy deck. It is the deck that when I'm sitting there and I want something, you know, to sit there and just see how far I can go with the burns, right? I got my Sync Realms. I've got my...
Woo, I'm home! Sorry for being late, had last minute work, and saw just glimpses.
No worries, Iron, no worries.
To the G to the O. How's it going, you radical tech scavenger?
I'm doing good, though. Like, seriously, honestly, right, if you really want to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, right? If you want to actually get into Yu-Gi-Oh, and you want to do it cheaply, Exo Sisters is actually a really good deck right now for meta play, right? But if you want, like, you can literally make an Exo Sister deck for like 50 bucks. That's how cheap it is. Or if you want to, okay, one of the strongest decks out there right now is either Clown Crew Mitsurugi or pure Mitsurugi, right? Mikano isn't bad for an entry deck either. No, it really isn't. Mikano is not. Mitsurugi, you can literally go pick up like the legendary, I think like it's what, the legendary 5Ds deck or like the legendary decks or some shiz like that, right? Like the 2025 ones, right? And it absolutely will do stuff. In Clown Crew, yeah, Moon Knight. Okay, so Moon Knight. So Clown Crew, right? Yeah, Mitsurugi's in that legendary pack. That's like 30 bucks, right? Even gets you like a freaking Fulos in there. So Clown Crew, right? The reason why I like it so much is it's basically I heard you want slightly technical Pot of Greed, right? I wish I was joking with Clown Crew, but it's actually a thing. Because Bianca Visso over here, right? You got Bianca Visso, Flare, Rehearsal, Manatee Operatics, and then you also got Dristy. We're not going to worry too much about the other cards because we're just looking at the main components of it. Like, you basically need all of them, but literally 10 bucks and you basically got everything, right? Bianca Visso literally sits here, right? Also, let me just put this so it's better centered for everyone on the vertical stuff, right? Playing Clown Crew as it dies so incredibly hard to draw unlocked. Let me introduce you to Heralds. Let me introduce you to Heralds or Ash Blossoming, the freaking Droll Unlock, bro. Fine, someday it's a zombie world. It kind of is. But literally with Clown Crew, Bianca Visso, he can cheat himself out by only tributing one card. He could tribute two, and for the amount of cards he gets tribute, right? You just draw cards. He literally will draw you 2 cards, which is crazy on his own, right? Just from being summoned. But then you also have Manatee Operatics that also draws cards based off of the amount of cards you have tributed this turn. Meaning you're going to be drawing anywhere from, in a turn, if you count the end of turn, right? You're basically going to be drawing anywhere from a minimum of 3 to 6 cards in total, right? With Clown Crew. That's why, that's why my whole idea that I've been testing out with Clown Crew is literally building up a Herald clown crew, right? Oh yeah, no, I've tested clown crew with Regenesis, and I really like clown crew with Regenesis. I actually have an optimized version for myself that does work. But for me, if I'm playing freaking clown crew, I think this version that I've put together is definitely the best version, right? I mean, I did say I wanted to, you know, Plasmite. I did say I wanted to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh at some point, you know? Because for me, right, I know, like, if you can see this list for those of you watching on mobile in the vertical format, yeah. Because this list here, I've been kind of cooking for a bit, especially if you're new here, right? Because for me, I see the draw power, and I can see it as being, like, an absolute anti-meta stun deck, right? That's how I view Clown Crew. And so for me, it's like, okay, well, if I draw with Bianca Visso, cool. If I'm special summon with Malbarisme, okay, cool. With Bianca Visso, I'm gonna be getting my spells and traps on the field one way or another, right? That's my first thing. But then if I throw in the Heralds, okay, Herald of Orange Light. Cool. Negate the activation of an opponent's monster effect, destroy a card. Herald of Purple Light. If the opponent activates a trap card, negate and destroy. If they do something with spell cards, negate and destroy.
Hello there, I'm RixaraCH. I sell Yu-Gi-Oh and Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh my god, no, bro, no. So like that's the main thing, right? We got Cyber Angel Benton, okay, who is literally there in the deck to find whatever ritual monster we need. You have Clown Clue Flare, which is obviously there to is one of your starters for freaking Clown Crew. Poison Inundate Novellas, because, you know, it's always fun to, you know, cock block the opponent and get things started. Pre-preparation of Rites, again, another starter, gets you your stuff that you need. The new card from Chaos Origins, Ragged Record Rites, that gets you a part if you're missing a part, right? You got your special summon setting it up for, you know, Bianca Visso's Tributing, right? Manatee Operatics, Conquer Rehearsal to get your parts. Legit, Called by the Grave, Oracle the Herald, which is the ritual card necessary for getting the ritual Oracle out, right? Got your Conquer Trap cards. And then, of course, we also have this, Archlord Christia there, as another type of pseudo-negate, because it prevents special summoning for the opponent on top of that. Sure, you could get right. You could also do the whole thing with, you know, Vanity's Ruler. I didn't want to do Vanity's Ruler, admittedly. Because with the Archlord Christia, it works better with this deck. Special summons itself for free, basically, with how much you're discarding already. So as a whole, I feel like this is like can be a very toxic anti-meta deck that can really mess with people. And also, by the way, yo, Fish McBites, thank you so much for joining on into the Dumpster Dome, bro. I hope you enjoyed being a lovely little gem. So let's get on some adventures out there. But yeah, like honestly for me, this deck I've actually been seeing a decent amount of success with like play testing. I honestly think this is probably this is gonna be a version of the deck that maybe not many people try or play, but I genuinely think it could absolutely be a pain in the ass to deal with. And if people actually try this out, it might actually do good. It might actually just genuinely straight up kick the meta's ass cheeks. Whether or not it does, that's a whole different story. I still have to see, like, you know, like how it does in practice, like locally as well as like, because like the sim can only teach you so much, right? The sim can only teach you so much. But I do think that this has a lot of potential and could be a sleeper build of Clown Crew. I just hope that it ends up working out in the way that I want, and I'm hoping that, you know, I get to play test it more and it works out well, right? Because honestly, at the end of the day, I think part of the thing that makes freaking card games so much fun, right, is when you get to mess around with them, when you get to theory craft, put things together. Because I think a lot of card games, right, that a lot of card games out there have issues because they're literally built with like only being built in one way. That's part of what I do like about Magic and even like with both Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, they both let you kind of build a deck cater to your playstyle. Stuff like freaking One Piece, Vanguard, most card games out there except for like the top 3, they tend to have issues where no one can really build a deck any other way than the way that it was intended, and so as a result, you don't get hybrids. You don't get any kind of entertaining combos. You just get the bland same thing over and over again, right? I'll say, Nacho Goblin, how you doing, bro? Also, Power World deck building video went. When I get paid twice the amount I get paid, bro. Do I look like I can do that? For a lot of the card game, the format is usually exactly. Like if I were to go and play One Piece, right?
Also, barely any scalpers in Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh, I feel like is literally immune to scalpers to some extent. But yeah, no, like legit, honestly, for a lot of card games, the format's solved. In One Piece, literally, freaking Blue Yellow Nami is a deck that is solved. Shanks is a deck that is solved. Black Yellow Blackbeard is solved. Like, the formats are solved before you even have a chance to play, and it is ridiculous. In Yu-Gi-Oh, sure, you got your decks that are solved for the most part, but the beauty is the side decks. The beauty is the way that people tech things together, smash things together, you know? Like, back when sprites were a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh, it was amazing seeing people like, oh, here's a live twin. Here's some other machine deck. Here's like legit people are even with like Blitzclick. Some people are trying out sprites with Blitzclick because they're thunders and the level 2 bridge is there, right? Or even sprites with Angelicate is kind of a crazy idea. Sure, sprites are definitely, you know, they've been kind of killed off because they banned Sprite Elf, but, you know, hey. You seen Ryziel Blitzclick? Yep, I've seen Ryziel Blitzclick too. I want Blitzclick. My only problem is Blitzclick is just stupidly expensive. That's my biggest problem. I would love to play it, but right now, when, you know, one card is like $15 a piece and you need like a playset of that plus another $10 card, all of a sudden the core for Blitzclick is like, you know, I think like $120. And I'm like, bro, I don't have $120 a month to just go and grab like a freaking playset of a new archetype that looks fun, but I don't actually have, you know? My problem is I don't know if the support will be good enough. I mean, honestly, from what I've seen with the new cards coming out, like, that they've been revealing, I think it should be good, actually. I actually do think some of the new support that they are revealing should be pretty decent. Whether or not it actually ends up being in practice is a different story, especially with how some of the other things they're doing, but, you know, hey. You know. Yeah, no, but Blitzclick, it does have really good bones. Kind of like how, you know, the Power Patrons also have really good bones, depending on if you go down the Doom Z route, the Elf Note route, the Archmage route, or the Pure route, especially because of Shade the Obscure. Like, they've actually, that's the thing, is they've actually found, like, you know, they've really made the game very versatile, especially for having a jungle format, which is kind of crazy. Power Patron is such a fun deck. The only problem is, again, the Medius the Pure is, like, the most expensive card in that damn deck at, like, $25 a piece. I legit hate that Medius the Pure is $25 a piece. I'm glad I have my playset of Medius the Pure, but goddamn! Kind of like how Forbidden Crown is, like, still stupidly expensive, you know? Though I do want to build a pet deck at some point, which is, you know, freaking Trickstars, but yeah. It actually dropped down quite a bit if you did. Did it really? Medius actually dropped down by quite a bit. Hang on. I think I need to actually check that out then, because I would have expected he would have shot. Nope. Okay, wait, hang on. Okay, yeah. So, okay, so yeah, he's definitely dropped down a bit, but I get the feeling he's going to shoot back up because of the support that Medius is getting that basically is kind of bullshit in the next releases, right? I was like, yo, Sarah, thank you so much for 27 months, bro. How you doing, chummies? Like, seriously. I cannot. I know, right? There's 27 months of gyms. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I picked up minis to pure do the Ars Magna. Yeah, Ars Magna, when I saw that shit, I'm like, oh god. Oh god. That's gonna be special, isn't it? That's gonna be so freaking special. Also, did someone DoorDash my pink Slurpee today? Wait, what? Stairs in the jar, yo. But yeah, like, legit. I am just happy. I really have to say, right? Your favorite deck right now is Xenocraft, which I got really cheap. You know what?
Dragon decks. So many dragons did Kaiba not have enough blue eyes, so he had to get more.
He kinda did. He kinda did. Okay, hang on. Can I just say with Xenocraft, right? If you don't know what Xenocraft is, it's basically a psychology deck. Or it's mimicking it. And it is like such a funny deck. You think it's gonna be a pendulum deck, right? But it doesn't do any pendulum summoning. It just is like, oh hey, you special summon? I activate my trap card. Oh hey, you did a thing? I activate this effect. Like, it is so funny. It's literally like a jar deck except for bullshit. Xenocraft is so fucking funny. Honestly, you know what's the thing is? The one card I am missing from Xenocraft is like the $5, it literally is set 5 and pass. I am missing the one card that's like $5, right? I am literally missing that one thing, that's it. It is so freaking stupid. It is so freaking stupid, but I love it at the same time. It's funny how easy it is to just find it in bulk if you have like a card shop that has bulk, right? It is so freaking funny. Anyways, right? Huh. But yeah, like honestly, I have to say, I have legitimately felt so much happier playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Than any other card game because it's just been more fun with all the comboing and everything.
I just picture going against RixARA in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fight and I'm like, okay, it's their turn, get demolished in 3 moves. My life points!
That's right, Kaiba! You don't have any life points because I took them from you, you single, freaking, maidenless bish! Okay. Real quick. I want to do something real quick, alright? I want to do something really, really stupid just to test something, okay? I'll pay for that I didn't pick up Forbidden Droplet when it was $50. You mean Forbidden Crown, right? Not Forbidden Droplet, Forbidden Crown, the card that's like now like $100, right? Okay. For my, crown, I wish I could pick up crowns. They're just too expensive, you know? It's definitely worth the price if you can get it. Alright, so, real quick, before I continue, to my Twitch chat, to my lovely little gems in Twitch chat, I want to test a theory real quick, okay? Whether you're lurking or otherwise, what I would like to see you guys do, okay? I want to see you guys spam some emotes real quick, right? Wasn't Kaiba so arrogant and petty he found a way to the afterlife just to do the favor? Yes, he did. Yes, so please, real quick, right? Sainted, I want you to keep a track on... You know what you need to keep a track on? But I want to see, I would like to see everyone in chat start spamming emotes, okay? As many people spam them as you can. Because I'm testing a couple of things. First off, first issue, none of the emotes are being thrown at me, which means Twitch's API is incredibly fucked at the moment, right? Okay. Because those emotes should be getting thrown at my model at the moment, and it's not. that is a problem. That is absolutely a problem. And I know Wardo is connected to Twitch at the moment. Alright, cool. Saying it, how are things looking on your end? I was in Luminous Red stream and her TTS was broken.
Luminous Red stream earlier and her TTS was broken.
Huh. Interesting. Her TTS was broken. Got it. Okay. Your fingers hurt? That's okay. You guys can stop spamming the emotes now, alright? You guys can stop spamming. Okay. I was doing that as a test, right? We were doing that as a test to see how Twitch is handling things at the moment, right? So, for those of you who don't know, right? Yeah, Twitch... Iron, you don't have to... You can stop, Iron. You can stop, bro. Bro, you can stop, bro. Bro! Holy shit. Okay, I'll say, hey, Ada, how you doing, bro? So, okay. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Let's break some things down here real quick, okay? Okay, that at least works, which means some things are working. Okay. So, what we're gonna do real quick is I want to check something real quick here, right? So let me do a quick check here. So, let's see. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. Okay. Alright, so, I just counted the amount of people that are currently being counted by Twitch, right?
Does this work? You should totally go check that one arcade machine.
I totally should, but later, right? So, okay, the reason why I'm checking, right? The reason why we're checking here, alright, and for those of you over on TikTok, you guys are about to get a little bit of a lesson on how Twitch works, right? So, effectively, what I was checking, there's a total of 42 people that are being counted here in the Twitch chat, right? Now, right now, according to Twitch, it is only counting 32 of the 42 people, meaning that it is missing 10 of you people, right? So, are you guys ready for a little bit of a lesson on how Twitch works, right? Because I promise you, this is gonna be kind of crazy, and you're gonna look at me and be like, are you serious? Is Twitch really being that kind of BS? Is Twitch really pulling that kind of shiz? So, alright. Twitch has 42 out of the 48 chatters, but only counting 30. Yep. So here's the thing, right? There's effectively two different systems that Twitch runs to count people. They count people in chat separately from those that are watching the stream. People in chat is literally a lightweight thing that basically takes up no bandwidth on their servers. People who are watching the video player, right? How we doing? We're doing good, fish. People who are watching the video player, they take up heavy bandwidth. Now, on the weekdays, right? On the weekdays, what Twitch does is they limit their bandwidth. So, Twitch partners bypass that because, you know, they're Twitch partners. They get, you know, premium access to streaming, right? But if you're an affiliate, part of the problem, there's a couple of problems. First off, it's the handshake that it does. Every single user that's in chat right now has a unique user ID. If for whatever reason it doesn't get attached to the Twitch channel, because the API decides to throttle, you get a bad start, the handshake doesn't work properly because you're starting at prime time, whatever, right? There's like a bajillion and one reasons why it doesn't work correctly. All of a sudden, what ends up happening, right? And then there's a thing where separate server for video and chat. Yep, that's what I mentioned that briefly, right? So here's the thing, okay? Effectively, what that means is that as far as Twitch is concerned, okay, it is literally looking at it, seeing that, you know, that it's like breaking because it throttles. Because if I go live at 5 o'clock and a lot of people started at 5, if my handshake on a Monday does not meet the requirements of Twitch's servers, you get foobarred, right? You get absolutely foobarred. And so as a result, like, here's the thing, right? Sainted, I have a question for you. If you were to click on the little gear icon on the video player on Twitch, right?
Can we drown Twitch in haterade? It's trying to drown everyone else in haterade.
Sure, we can. If you were to click on the little gear icon on Twitch, will you see different streaming options, or will it only show a 1080p source, out of curiosity? Also, Internet, if you are also there at the moment too, let me know if it actually shows you the different options or not. Because part of the whole thing with how Twitch works, right? You have many options. Okay, Sainin. If you're on mobile, maybe different. Also, hey, Males, how you doing? Also, you're seeing full options, Plasma. Fair. You have 1080 to 160. Cool. Yours says 1080p source. Gotcha. Because part of the issue is with Twitch, when the... Alright, saying it, okay, cool. Yep, so correction on 1080p, 60, you see 1080p sauce. Internet, do you see any other options underneath the gear? Out of curiosity. Because effectively what Twitch will do is when there's high traffic on their site, especially on a weekday, because affiliates get down prioritized, right?
PSA for today, it's not Netflix and chill, it is now called Twitch Dis Dick.
God damn it. So effectively what ends up happening, right, is that what Twitch will do is it'll auto default to the 1080p source to save bandwidth, meaning that not everybody will get access to the actual different options. So some people, you see every option normally available, fair. So it is a thing where sometimes the options do disappear, especially when the servers are under high load, right? So that's kind of a problem. And so, also, hey, Scythe, it's okay, I'm not gonna rob you, bro. And so, if Twitch decides to throw a fit, if Twitch decides that it doesn't feel like, you know, tracking your data, if it doesn't want to track, like, you know, if it doesn't do the handshakes properly, any number of things, effectively Twitch will stop counting viewership, it'll start, you know, throwing a fit, it'll do all sorts of really kind of bullshit things, right? And when that happens, it almost feels like there's nothing you can really do, right? Like, the most that I could technically do as an experiment would be to restart the Twitch stream and see if that re-authenticates with the server and fixes things. There's also a chance it doesn't fix anything at all and it just breaks things even further, right? So, and the problem is like, you know, Twitch has nodes on their servers, right? And whenever they're testing out new features, doing bug fixes, whatever, if a node breaks for whatever reason, like when they did the whole thing with the clips feature, it's buggy. It breaks things, and then all of a sudden, if you're on that server, you're just fucked.
Dead zone is, or have Twitch train with Popo.
Yeah, effectively. And if anything, right? If anything, you know, this is why, you know, a lot of, you know, why some bigger partnered streamers will tell you to focus on other platforms other than Twitch, like focus on YouTube and TikTok, because it actually does get your viewership going, right? It does actually, you know, help you scale better, because Twitch is a platform that if it breaks, you're not growing, you're not going anywhere, you're not, you know, doing anything, right? It's special. Twitch is seriously special. Time to migrate to Green Twitch. Unfortunately, Green Twitch is worse than Twitch in that regard, right? Because here's the problem. I mean, according to the enhanced chatters are slowly going up, like if they are being held back and slowly let in. But they shouldn't be doing that, right? Saying it, that's the problem, is they shouldn't be doing that.
This stream is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! When it decides to play the Sodia cards and destroy the Twitch chat.
Yeah, literally, right? Literally. Like, is there some way to grow? Yeah, it's called growing on freaking Twitch. Or it's called using YouTube, right? Legit, If you want to grow as a content creator, while you can grow on Twitch, you are better, you literally need to focus more on YouTube and TikTok, right? Because Twitch's systems, like with today, for example, right? If, for whatever reason, for example, right? If Twitch puts you on a node on their server that breaks things, and you don't get viewership, your discoverability goes out the window. If you try to grow on Twitch and, you know, like the bottom line is more lines to catch more fish, basically, right? If you're sitting there and you're streaming and Twitch decides you go live at the wrong time, if you're not being consistent, like Twitch has more ways to actually screw with someone trying to grow on its platform than it does to actually have help, right? That's why, like, because, like, here's the thing, right? I agree with what Ludwig said. If you can build a content pipeline on YouTube and even TikTok, right? You can start earning more from YouTube and sponsorships than you will on Twitch. Because of how hard it is to grow on Twitch, because of how it works. Like, legit, yesterday, Twitch was being weird because of, like, the whole thing with the freaking World Cup going on for soccer, you know, football, right? Who knows what the frick is going on today, right? Other than, you know, Twitch throttling. If I look at my calendar, okay, for example, there is nothing, absolutely nothing being, you know, scheduled. Like, there's no holidays, nothing, right? The only thing that's different about today is it's a Monday, so the servers don't have the floodgates open to let everyone stream without issue. And so, you know, honestly, this is just one of those things where sometimes someone gets, you know, the short end of the stick, you know? And it's disappointing. It's disappointing because this is why a lot of people are told, don't pay attention to the follower number, don't pay attention to the viewer number, right? If you pay attention to those numbers, it's just gonna, you know, it's gonna disappoint you. You know, especially if it's a bad day. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself as a content creator is just stick to a schedule and stay consistent, right? That's the best thing you can do. And it's like, you know, if a day is being bad, I mean, granted, one bad stream day is not gonna hurt you if you are a content creator sitting there in the chat. Like, actually, real quick, how many content creators do we actually currently have in the chat? Whether you're on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, TikTok, how many of you guys are currently content creators or aspiring to be content creators out of curiosity? How many of you? Raise of hands. Throw those emotes up in the chat. While you're doing that, I'm gonna check over here. Wow. I say, hey Parrot, how you doing, bro? You kind of want to be one ranged? Fair. Absolutely fair. Does loot shit count? I mean, I guess if you're doing it on Bansley. I actually want to do stuff like that? Yes. Okay. So here's the thing, right? As someone who has done this for... Otak King, you haven't missed your time, right? As someone who has done this for 5 years, as someone who needs to upload my thoughts on Streamer University to YouTube, like actually cut the VOD down and do all that, right? From yesterday. The thing is that you would get better mileage out of streaming 3 hours a day for like 3 days a week and then cutting that stuff up and putting it on YouTube than you would be streaming like 8 hours a day and not putting anything up on YouTube or TikTok, right? Because the problem is, right? How many of you guys know what a content funnel is, right? Do you guys know anything about the funnels with content creation? Or no? Because if not, I'm gonna pull things up, and also Monkey, I see what you're talking about, but no, what I need to do something very specific with it, right? Because what I'm gonna do here, right? I'm gonna pull up something, right? I'm gonna put down a couple of different platforms, okay? And so we're gonna take Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and let's see, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok, right? Now, let me ask you, chat, all of the chats, right? What platform do you think goes at the top of the funnel, right? And which platforms do you think are on the bottom of the funnel? Any guesses? Because basically what you have to think about with the funnel, just to expand upon, I'll say, hey there, Gil. Oh, you mean the tier. Yes, basically the tier, right? In order, Twitch, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Kick. Range Record brings up TikTok on top, Twitch on bottom. Anyone else before I give the answer? Anyone else? Because here's the thing, right? Alright, if no one else has any other ones, alright. So, Range Record is actually the one that is correct, right? Range Record, you are correct. Because when it comes down to it, right? TikTok and YouTube, right? Are both going to be at the top of your funnel. Heck, even Twitter can be at the top of your funnel, right? Those are going to be, like, the main things. But we'll keep TikTok and YouTube at the top, right? Twitter can also is going to be, like, there in the middle, right? Twitch and Kick, right, are going to be at the bottom of the funnel. Because the way that it works, right, for a content funnel, is you have to think about it. If the live streams is where everything is live, where people can catch you live, where they can interact with you the most, right? Effectively, what you're gonna get is TikTok and YouTube. They're gonna be the stuff that's like, you know, your pre-recorded, your shorts, your long-form stuff, right? That's the stuff that people watch. If they are interested in it, they might check out your Twitter. They might check out your Twitch, right? And so as a result, if you have no top funnel, if you're only relying on Twitch, you know what's gonna happen? That you, like many others, refuse to call. I mean, it's awkward saying X. You know, it just sounds like a freaking, you know, it sounds like a lewd site, you know? It sounds like the orange tube, right? So, also, Silver, that's crazy that you have a delay. Has refreshing helped you at all? So, anyways, right? I'll say, hey, Rags, how you doing, bro? Like, legit, with the funnel order, okay? If you're only relying on Twitch or Kick to get you to grow, it's not gonna work. It's just not. Because you are literally, that is the end point. Because after you're done streaming on Twitch, do you really expect people to go check out your YouTube? To your Twitter? Your freaking Discord server? Like, some people might. But there's no incentive to go from Twitch to YouTube when they just caught everything live. The stuff that you upload to YouTube and TikTok is something that, you know, maybe it's exclusive stuff, maybe it's stuff from your streams. That's the stuff that gets people to come to your Twitch, right? That's the stuff that gets them to come to your Twitter. Your Twitter is what also gets you to come to your TikTok, your YouTube, your Kick, your Twitch, right? The content funnel literally is supposed to go from, like, the area where you get the most amount of views down to the least amount, right? That's the biggest thing. Hell, I found your shorts on YouTube and I randomly decided to check you out your Twitch, and here I am later not going anywhere. Exactly, right? Exactly. And that's the problem, is, like, if you have no YouTube presence, right? I go to your YouTube shorts because I want to see you suck. I mean, fair. Like, I legit have sucked at making long-form content on YouTube. I have, right? Or vice versa is not the case unless you, for some reason, like, either rewatching streams or you need background noise or your stream, basically, right? And I've been sucking at making long-form content for YouTube. So my YouTube presence isn't as strong as it could be. I've been doing better with it. I have definitely been doing better with it. I've been doing better with freaking TikTok. I mean, frick. I literally figured out how to live stream to TikTok, you know, this week. And honestly, I'm really glad that I have. I've gotten to see some amazing new people come into the community, you know? It's honestly amazing to me. So, you know, honestly, to the people over on TikTok, thank you. All right? Thank you, Ranged, for being there. You know, Moon Knight, if you're still there, Draco, if you're still there, seriously, thank you. You know, it's definitely one of those things that I'm very happy. I still succeed because of fucking autism telling you, that's fair. Absolutely valid. Like, that's just kind of the thing. So, for me, as a content creator, yes, it's gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna be a lot more work than, a 9 to 5, right? Yeah, I was not going to find you if it weren't for TikTok. Yeah. TikTok has so much stuff. Like, not everyone's gonna be on Twitch, right? Not everyone's gonna be on Kick. Not everyone's gonna be on Twitter. Not everyone's gonna be on YouTube, right? If you put all of your eggs into one basket, it's bound to fail, right? It's bound to fail. I mean, hell. Here's another question for you, right? Here's another one for you. If you're trying to go full-time as a content creator, what platform do you think is gonna actually bring you in the most amount of revenue? Like seriously, this is a thing that most people don't like talking about, right? But if you are gonna sit there, if you want to get the most amount of gems, dollars, euros, pounds, you know the whole shtick, right? What do you think is the best platform for that? OnlyFans, no. I mean, I guess if you're doing the lewd stuff, yes. A job at McDonald's, oh my god. I mean, you're not wrong at this point, but YouTube is what will bring in more. But there's a big asterisk on that, right? And the reason for it, okay? I mean, I do it like a pyramid. It goes from YouTube and TikTok spread, then you get to Twitch. Yeah. The thing is, YouTube is the better platform, mainly because, okay, when you hit Twitch partner, or when you hit YouTube partner, you start being able to earn passive income from ads, from watch time, right? With Twitch, you might earn some money from it because of, from ads, but you're entirely, right? It is entirely more difficult because you rely on your audience to do bits, to do subs, right? TikTok, I have no idea how the earning works on TikTok. I'm assuming it's ridiculous to try and earn money on TikTok, but legit Twitch, sure. If you're looking at it from a pure follower standpoint, right? Yes, Twitch absolutely can be really good in a short term for possibly earning money. But what happens if that one person that does the majority of your donations disappear? What if your community doesn't sub? What if your community isn't doing much with the bits, right? All of a sudden, you're streaming, but you're putting in so much more work than anything. You might not actually earn nearly as much as you expect. And if a lot of people think you can just go live on Twitch and earn a lot of money, no, that's not how that works, right? I mean, hell, if you want to actually take a look at it, right? I have my stats up here on the carousel stats here on Twitch rotating, and I have it reset once a month. You can literally see right here, right? That, hang on. You can see what the bits are currently like with the top 10 people. You can see how the subs are with the top 10 people, right? That's the biggest thing, I have been incredibly grateful to the people who always do donate on Twitch. And admittedly, yeah, there's only one person I think that I mainly have that does that kind of stuff, right? And, when people aren't able to do that, or, if times get tough, then as the content creator, it does become a little bit more difficult, especially if you are doing this full time, which is why you have to diversify the income to the most you can, right? Most creators make the content on Twitch and then uploads it to you. Yeah, basically, right? But if you don't have that freaking, that workflow going, it's definitely hard to set that up, right? There is also Ko-Fi, but it also depends on if people know about your Ko-Fi or if they're even going to use your Ko-Fi, right? But even then, Ko-Fi, you know, like, it also has its, like, you know, they each have their own drawbacks. Like, Ko-Fi is definitely a direct injection of income, right? But Twitch definitely prefers it when you do, like, you know, when you interact with their platform, because stuff like hype train, subs, bits, it shows engagement, which means better signals and stuff. It's stupid, right? Yeah, Ko-Fi, Patreon, those are the main ones. Like, also, by the way, if you want to see something that was kind of funky, if you go back like 2 minutes, right? I've seen Patreon work for some creators. It does, but you have to be very specific with what you do on Patreon. Also, if you want to see how fucked up Twitch is at the moment, right? Legit, I watched the follower count go from 9,062 down to 9,061 and then back up to 62. So their own metric tracking for the follower counter is broken at the moment. Kind of fun, right? Yeah, Twitch prefers people do stuff through them because they are greedy fucks. Yeah, they basically are, right? Like, look, here's the thing. I scrapped my shit together from, like, you know, the freaking backyard dumpster, okay? Why do you think we got a dumpster dump, right? Why do you think I dig through the trash for pizza? Because it's not exactly easy to just go out of your way to get whatever pizza you want, right? It's hard. It's hard. That's why I built my own stuff, and I don't, like, you know, I don't have the months, the gyms to just sit there and commission people to do all this stuff. It's why I do it kind of myself, right? It's kind of hard to keep up with it. It is really hard to keep up with it all, but that's why I'm working on, you know, shifting things around to make my flow better so I can get YouTube off the ground, so I can get things going, you know? And for everyone that's here in the Dumpster Dome, honestly, you guys are amazing. You guys have been fantastic, and I'm so glad to have so many people here, whether they are lurking, whether they are being active in chat, regardless if Twitch is being bullshit or not. It's special, you know? I'll give it that. Twitch is definitely special. But there's only so much that we can realistically do, you know? It's frustrating. So hang on. Let me just go over here real quick. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, like, legit, right now, when light hits, yeah, that's the thing, is, like, the gear is made out of metal. I made sure it's shiny. It doesn't, you don't ever really see it because it's behind me, right? Okay. So here's the thing, alright? Here's my thoughts at this point, okay? We're sitting at, what, 2 hours into the stream today? Right? Just about? Yeah, we're about 2 hours in, okay? And one of the rules I do have is that on days like this where Twitch is being glitchy, if things don't recover, because right now it's literally not counting 24 of you guys. It is legitimately not counting 24 of you. So if Twitch decides to be weird, as long as you know, as long as you do at least 2 hours, right? I think with how many issues Twitch is having, it might be best to call it here, right? Just because Twitch is deciding to be a weird mess today. You know, and I know we didn't watch any videos, maybe make it a react stream, maybe, right? Yeah, Iron, we might have to in everything, right? We might have to. Because just given how Twitch is being, how people are having issues with chatting, like, fuck, if you're on mobile, some people are dealing with a freaking, you know, minute-long delay, which is kind of ridiculous when trying to, you know, answer questions. It is disappointing. If anything, I am disappointed in Twitch. I really, really am. Because this is my full-time job. This is my full-time thing that I enjoy doing. And, you know, I wish Twitch would actually, you know, bug test their shit and make sure it works, right? You gotta do one thing before you know, oh my god, let me guess what you're gonna do, bro. Let me guess what you're gonna do. You're gonna do the Steve thing, aren't you? You're gonna do the Steve thing, aren't you, bro? He's gonna do the Steve thing. Hi, Lily. Hope you're doing well, bruh. God damn it! That was the wrong thing. Okay, so you know, I know it's disappointing. I know we normally stream for 5 hours and everything. I know. And Lily, I'm sorry you're coming in. We're cutting this stream short because of the bullshit with Twitch, right? But that doesn't mean we're gonna end it here, right? We're not gonna end it here. What we're gonna do is that if you are new here, I know. If you are new here, make sure you go ahead and join on into the Dumpster Dome. The Dumpster Dome. That way you can stay up to date with things, be a part of the community. Because what I'm gonna do is, because of Twitch being bullshit, I'm gonna hang out and chill in the Discord server, right? That's what I'm gonna do for, you know, the last 3 hours that the stream is supposed to be. And so what I'm gonna do is also for those over on TikTok, I'm also gonna put that there, right? God damn it! Hi Coco, how you doing, chum? Anyways, though, right? Make sure you copy that raid message so that we can give whoever we raid for their pizzas the best raid possible. I'll see you guys either in the freaking Dumpster Dome in a bit. If not, I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the actual community night, and if not, I'll see you on, I guess, Saturday for more Jack and Daxter. But until then, bye-bye! Oh my god, as we figure this out. God damn it. You see who's online, Mock? Who are you to talk Trickcot? Who the frick is Trickcot? Oh, Trick. Ah, them. Okay, yeah. Alright, yeah, we'll raid them. Oh, looks like they're interviewing someone. Alright, cool. Anyways, bye-bye. Because it seems like Twitch is gonna be bullshit.